In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to comp over a major 2-5-1 using chords with bass lines. We're going to start with an example which is a little bit more accessible and then gradually get more advanced as we look at 3 different levels of comping with walking bass lines. Hey everybody, this is Jamie Holroyd helping you learn jazz guitar. Welcome to the channel. Comping using bass lines is an essential part of learning jazz guitar. You hear jazz guitar players such as Martin Taylor and Joe Pass use this all the time, so I'm going to hopefully demystify that technique in today's session by looking at 3 ways in which we can comp over a major 2-5-1 progression, D minor 7, G7 and C, using a combination of walking bass lines, passing chords, tenths and triplets. It's all good stuff and I can't wait to show you how these examples work. Just before we begin, I'd like to tell you about a free gift that I have for you. This is a beginner jazz guitar course, so if you're watching this video and you're new to jazz guitar, this is definitely the course for you. It's completely free. All you have to do is enter your email address in the link below and I'll send it over to you straight away. It's a 62-page beginner jazz guitar guide which has etudes, examples, licks and chords, all geared and aimed for the beginner jazz guitar player. If you haven't got this already, then please go check it out. Example number 1 contains a fairly standard approach to creating walking bass lines. We're using 3-note chords. This is the chord voicing that I'm using for D minor 7. This is the chord voicing I'm using for G7. And this is the chord voicing I'm using for C major 7. The bass line sounds like this. We're starting with this D minor 7, and then I'm using descending motion to get to this G7 right here. I've got the bass note on beat 1 and the chord on the end of 1. And then I'm using an ascending motion over the G7, which takes me to C major 7. Same principle applies. I've got the root note on 1, the chord on the end of 1, and then I'm using some ascending scalic motion. Slowly, the full bass line sounds like this. Example number 2 expands on what you have just learned. We're starting the same way with this D minor 7th and using a descending bassline motion. But when we get to G7, we're now adding triplets and we're adding tenths. So we're adding a triplet on the shell voicing. And then we're going up the scale using tenths. So here I've got an A and a C note. We're doing the same thing for B flat minor. And the same thing for B minor right there. So in bar 2 we now have this motion. And if I combine that with bar number 1 slowly, these tenths can add a fuller sound and the triplet creates more rhythmic interest. In the third bar we're using the same thing. We're playing this shell chord with a triplet. And then we've got some tenths moving up the scale. So we're going to D minor 7, E minor 7, E flat minor 7, and then E minor 7. You should be able to see these as being part of these full minor 7 voicings, which most of you probably already know. Slowly, all 3 bars sound like this. The third example is the most advanced of the 3. Rather than have tenths, we now have full chords. So the first bar is exactly the same. In bar 2, we've got the triplet again. But rather than have a tenth here, we're adding full chords. So the chords which I'm choosing to add are an A minor 7, a B flat diminished 7, 3-note chords here, and a G over a B bass note. This is a G triad. We've got 3, root, and 5 right there. So bar 2 now sounds like this, which hopefully you'll agree is a fuller sound. The third bar does almost the same thing, but rather than start with a triplet, we're just playing quarter notes, which contrasts the rhythms that you heard in bar number 2. Slowly, the full example sounds like this. I hope that that's demystified some of the comping with bassline techniques for you. If you have any questions, then please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.